At the time for old men, it just isn't.
I definitely think they overlook the achievements of the Biden administration.
Like what is happening right now is an active genocide.
I feel like it's time for something new, but it is what it is.
With a seismic election looming, there's growing unease in the Democratic Party. Early polling indicates wavering support for Joe Biden.
It's concerning to be behind Donald Trump at all, certainly by 5 points.
His support for the war in Gaza is alienating a progressive wing. And there's an electorate tired of the same two older men.
It's, drum roll please, these guys.
I come to Michigan.
Super concerned about Hamas members who might be in my neighborhood, as wouldn't want Israel to have to destroy me. Is there any way to somehow mark these Hamas folks with some kind of easily identifiable symbol they would have to wear? I can't tell if you're like making a Nazi Germany joke or if you're like LARPing as a dude who's like dialing in. It's probably a Nazi Germany joke. I thought, my brain is so broken. My brain is so broken that I literally think like either they're making a Nazi Germany joke in this situation because like Israel's actions are you know, they're reaching that level, at least earlier stages, and in some instances later stages. Or if you're making me sad, bro. Come on, dude, listen, there's a lot of people who come in here and try different angles. There's a lot of people that come in here and try different angles to be like, hello, I am Palestinian and I hate Hamas. Please. I am, as a Palestinian who is not typing this from a military bunker in Tel Aviv, I am actually a Palestinian who hates Hamas and thinks Israel is doing the best. She is doing the best. And I think that the real problem is Hamas. Please. You know what I mean? Like people do that kind of shit. So I thought maybe you were, yeah. Hasan, you are HamasAbi as a Palestinian. I think you are in the wrong. You do not know about the terror babies. I am reporting not from military bunker in Tel Aviv, but instead from Gaza. I am being a human shield for Hamas from Gaza. I am reporting from a hospital in Gaza. I am terror baby myself. Hamas has made me a terror baby. Israel must defend me by killing me and my family so that they can remove us from the real oppression caused by Hamas. Hamas. Dude, I can't. God, the humor is so dark. Yeah, and yet there is still gallows. Yeah, Israel say Uzza, not Gaza, Uzza. Sorry. There is, it turns out there is a way that you can fucking derive humor. It's just that the way to derive humor from this is not by reasserting the Israeli Hasbara lines and being like, hello, Hamas, I love Hamas totally. I am from Berkeley. I am both gay and Marxist, and I love Hamas and the terror babies. That's a very real propaganda. It's not the propaganda. It's a totally Hamas. Totally cool. Reporting live from Berkeley, from Antisemitism University. It's not even a joke. Israel thinks Americans are that stupid because we are.
Michigan, a vital swing state, to see for myself. Is Biden's coalition of voters faltering?
They are afraid of this! They're afraid of this, but this is democracy!
We're heading to Flint, which is a post-industrial city about an hour north of Detroit. I was last here about a decade ago in 2015 when the city was enduring a catastrophic water crisis. Really interested to see now what people think 10 years on, because Biden made some major promises here. I've come to meet a small group of Biden loyalists out in the freezing cold, days before a primary vote.
Nice to meet you, Mona. I'm Oliver.
You too. Nice to meet you too.
I love that jacket.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And how did you make it here?
Important primary. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're here just for the primary?
Yeah.
That is amazing. Thank you.
This is a heavily Democratic city, but out on the streets, the response feels lukewarm.
I do think he's a little out of touch. I do think his age is a concern. But again, we need Trump to not be a dictator in power. So that's of the utmost importance. You don't get perfect candidates. You get what you get.
Are you leaning Democrat or Republican? I'm undecided.
Did you vote for Biden in 2020?
I did.
And you're not sure about it this time? You'll see.
She voted for Biden before. She's undecided now. I wonder if it was because of the age.
Can I ask how you feel about his age? Because she didn't say that, but that seems to be instinctually what you're thinking.
You know what? I had an opportunity to listen to Joe Biden last week. We were in Washington, D.C., and he spoke to all the county commissioners from across the country. His mental game was on point, in my estimation, from that speech. And he had the audience laughing. He was engaged. He outlined all of the things that he had done for the country. I was impressed with his mental acuity, and I don't have any questions about his mental acuity.
I think people kind of overlook some of the policy achievements of this administration.
Definitely. I definitely think they overlook the achievements of the Biden administration. The one thing I do remember is my son died from diabetes. He worked 39 hours, but that was considered part-time. With part-time only came $500 worth of insurance for the year. One bottle of insulin cost him over $200. And he used 2 different kinds of insulin, so that means he didn't have enough money for 1 month's supply.
Is that one of the reasons that you come out here and do this, even on a cold day when not many folks are home?
That's definitely, I'm gonna cry. Don't make me cry. That's definitely one of the reasons. Biden is the only one I know that went after big industry, pharmaceuticals, and said, look, $35 a month.
The president's supporters may be mobilizing already, but in the suburbs of Detroit, another movement, a protest vote against Biden's foreign policy in the Middle East, is rapidly growing. This is the most concentrated population of Arab Americans in the country, a group that helped Biden swing the state in 2020. But many people are now saying they'll refuse to back Biden in this primary by voting uncommitted.
My name is Dima. I'm Palestinian. I just got my citizenship.
So this is the first presidential...
This is the very first presidential election that I will vote in, and my vote will be uncommitted.
To see our taxpayer dollars be going towards just decimating generations of people that have no say in this, it just seems like America should kind of be tired of getting away with this stuff.
I can't put my name next to somebody who openly supports genocide. I'm hoping that if we show the Democrats not to take our vote for granted, that they will act.
Layla El-Abed is one of the founders of the Uncommitted campaign, a group that formed just a few weeks ago. They were aiming for 10,000 uncommitted votes, roughly Trump's margin of victory here in 2016.
We're here to tell Joe Biden that we do not want our American taxpayer dollars funding the bombs that are killing innocent children. Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
We went for coffee in her home suburb of Dearborn, where 55% of residents are Arab American.
So you guys put a lot of faith in your vote last time, and if I'm getting it right, feels like that didn't necessarily pay off.
No, not at all. I remember in 2020 asking my family members, asking my friends, really pushing the support around Biden. But right now, our American taxpayer dollars going to support.
You missed the part of the woman whose diabetic son who worked for 39 hours to only be considered part-time and not be able to afford insulin and died? Yeah, no, I didn't miss it. I saw it. I heard it.
Weapons that are killing Palestinians every single day in the thousands, and we need to put that pressure on Joe Biden to change course right now.
If the uncommitted vote continues into November during a general election, could well hand Donald Trump Michigan and maybe even the White House. How would you feel if that happened?
We know that Donald Trump is not a friend to our community, but right now Joe Biden is in a place of power to change course, and we are not the ones that should be held accountable for that. It is Joe Biden and his administration who will have to answer to that question come November if that's the case.
Back in Flint, I came to meet the local county party at a union hall, where members were holding a chili cook-off. Biden took an unprecedented step last year and joined Michigan auto workers on the picket lines calling for fairer wages. Many people here are long-time union members, so we came expecting real enthusiasm.
This is not the time for old men. It just isn't. It's dangerous to anoint somebody. That's what we did with the Hillary campaign. And there again, I feel like that's what we're doing again. We need more voices. to combat, because Trump, he's a dangerous man.
I feel like it's time for something new, but it is what it is. So it's like, I think if
I saw online many Arab Americans talking about voting for Trump because they think that Trump would help the Palestinians. What the fuck's going on? Yeah. I don't know if this is like, I haven't seen this translated to like real results, because if that was the case, they wouldn't have done uncommitted, but instead would have voted for Trump in these like primaries. But one thing I will say is this: it is always not the voters' fault, but the campaign's fault. This is a fundamental difference in opinion that I have with many liberals who care about the Democratic Party's continuance, who care about the Democratic Party reigning, holding office. And for some weird reason, they do not recognize that it is always the campaign's fault. Okay? Now, what do I mean by this? Well, if the campaign sees this, right, they should do something about it. Like force Trump to, for example, take a hardline position on Israel. Trump has said a bunch of stuff about how Biden doesn't love Israel no longer. For example, in recent days, he's started taking a more active role as Chuck Schumer came out and spoke out against Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump is taken to the news media to be like, Biden doesn't love Israel as much as I do. However, the greatest way to showcase the differences between Joseph Robinette Biden and Donald Trump would be to take an active stance, okay, to show the people that you are in favor of a ceasefire, for example, or just like, to genuinely take actions that are de-escalating Israel's genocidal campaign, so that the Trump campaign can turn around and say, well, our position is different. Okay? That's the issue here. So I don't even know if this is real because, you saw online. I don't know if this is a real thing that is happening. But if it was real, okay, then it is still the fault of the Democratic Party, because thinking that the voters are making like reasonable decisions and are not just seeing it rationally in the same way that you're seeing it is fucking stupid. That's not why or how people buy cereal even, okay? You have to sell why people should vote for you. We have completely dropped in the most like politically inclined audiences, especially. This is a phenomenon that I see in these circles more than anywhere else. We've dropped the notion that fucking the Democratic Party is supposed to try to win your fucking vote. We are so used to people voting for the Democratic Party as a matter of harm reduction, as a matter of principle. Of course they're going to vote for the Democratic Party. What the fuck do you mean that people just don't even consider how people vote anymore? In a country where the plurality doesn't vote for either party. They just don't vote. You can't force Trump into taking a position. Trump will merely say this would have never happened if I were president, and I could end this in a day with a phone call without specifying how, and his vote or followers would eat it up. Yes. The difference, however, is that if Trump does start making more and more statements about how different his opinion is from the Biden campaign, and Biden actually shows the Arab voters in America, if he does care about them at all, I don't think he does, that the voters will make up their own minds, okay? You cannot consistently try to shame voters. 2020 had the highest voter turnout in almost 100 years. I wonder if there was another thing that happened in 2020 that caused universal ballot access and mail-in votes that may have greatly improved the number of people that ended up voting, because the number of people that ended up voting was also much higher on the fucking Republican side too. Trump literally had a Muslim ban. Oh my God, I'm losing my fucking mind. Trump is not currently the president. Brandon is. Brandon is the one that is responsible for the genocide in Gaza. Okay? His issues are that he is directly continuing Trump era policies on Israel. Why do you ignore all the Ukraine developments? We're literally on the brink of World War III. What? Okay, I'm just going to not talk about this chatter and instead go to this other chatter who's much nicer. Remember when you told my rat, Marguerite, that she was probably the greatest rat of all time? Well, her self-confidence has been way up since then. Thanks. I would like to reaffirm my commitment to the rat, Marguerite, as possibly the greatest rat of all time. Congratulations. Now, a couple months in a row, you have been declared possibly the greatest rat of all time. I'm talking like fucking, like higher than Charles Entertainment Cheese, higher than fucking Mickey Mouse, higher. I hold you to a higher esteem than Ratatouille. Maybe not Stuart
He has the
Little.
best chance.
Stuart Little's kind of the GOAT.
Yes. I think it's difficult to have a unknown name and a grassroots campaign. And I think that's what a lot of people are seeking. I think there's just barriers in place that make it difficult to get through on that.
Fragile coalition, right?
Very. It's playing.
Second straight poll that has shown age numbers that has Trump leading 18 and 35, nearly identical numbers of the last poll that you doubted. Holy moly. The kids are not all right. Overall, people are happy. Overall, young people aren't. In line with the prevailing research in the field, most individuals, what is this? FAU Main Street Happiness Thermometer?
Jenga with our country, pretty much.
Playing Jenga with our country. Ashley Prue, chair of the party here, was counting up the final votes for the cookout.
So people are still voting, but I am just starting to tally, so we don't have to do it all at the end.
Can I ask you about another election that's happening in November? So we've spoken to a lot of the members here. There actually seems to be quite a lot of ambivalence about his candidacy. I just wonder if you're bracing for an uphill battle in November.
I am aware of the current kind of pushback that he's getting. I'm aware of the push to vote uncommitted by some. I don't think for certain demographics he's not, I think, their favorite choice, but I'm hoping that people will understand that if and when Joe Biden...
It's cool. That it is basically the fucking... That is basically the same energy as the Biden campaign, which is very dangerous.
Biden gets the nomination, that he's going to be our candidate, and I'm hoping that they realize that the alternative is just not feasible.
And I do want to say, everybody's chili here was somebody's favorite, it looked like, so every chili got at least some points, so thank you all.
All my Michigan Muslim friends are voting Trump because of genocide. Well, good luck if they think that Trump is going to be better on the issue of Palestine or just Muslims in general. They're just wrong, objectively. Okay? Objectively. They're wrong. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you have to vote for Genocide Joe, but make no mistake. Anyone who thinks that Donald Trump is going to be better than Joe Biden to the Palestinians is entirely oblivious to the realities. October 7 is definitely the fault of Joseph Robinette Brandon, but there's another party involved there that is infinitely more responsible, and that is Donald Trump. How will Biden be better? This doesn't mean that Biden is going to be better, per se. I'm just simply stating that Donald Trump's actions, which the Brandon administration continued on as it pertains to Israel, is exactly how we got here to begin with. problem is the Democratic Party is not doing enough to showcase the differences between Joseph Robinette Biden and Donald Trump. And more importantly, it's not showing exactly how they will, not by using this, but actually, using their actions. So it's a one-party system, just say it. Wait, what do you mean? I have already mentioned that it's a one-party system time and time again. What the fuck are you talking about? We have like a fake duopoly. What? That's like what I say all the time. Foreign policy has significant tolerance to party change. You are wrong. If Hillary won, she would have done the same thing as Trump, but massage the narrative better. I don't think so. Same reason why Obama didn't do it either. I mean, we will never know, but I don't think Hillary Clinton would have made massive foreign policy failures to the same degree as Donald Trump. You know what's interesting, actually? I don't even think Joe Biden, if he won, he would have won in 2016. Okay? I think that if Joe Biden won in 2016, he wouldn't have done the Abraham Accords and shit either. Like, I think the fact that Trump did it caused Joe Biden to be like, yeah, no, I'm going to continue this. I don't think he would have gone out of his way to change long-standing U.S. U.S. policy of just like turning in the other direction. He does love status quo like that. It took a few months for it to pay off, but it's the funniest thing Amy Schumer ever said. Zone of Interest is the movie of the year at A24. Wait, when did she say it? There's no way she said it recently, right?